On the last day of the world, I would want to plant a tree. What for? Not for the fruit. The tree that bears the fruit is not the one that was planted. I want the tree that stands in the earth for the first time, with the sun already going down, and its roots touching the water, and the earth full of the dead, and the clouds passing one by one over its leaves. And some words by W.S. Merwin to get us started tonight. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here tonight. It's the Poetry Open Mic Asheville live stream. It's a pleasure to be with you. I'm your host for the evening, Caleb Beissert. And our technical director is Morgan Beissert, and our sponsor, of course, is Sovereign Kava, the Kava Bar here in Asheville. So come on down to the Kava Bar. We're back to normal hours here at the bar. So put on a mask, come on down and grab a Kava, and have a good time. So anyway, virtual cheers, everyone. All right, I think we're good to go here. Coming at you live from Asheville, North Carolina. Here, thanks for being with us. We do have a link up in the Poetry Open Mic AVL group on Facebook. You can find the link for performers, and it's a good place to keep up with all the going-ons with the open mic. We appreciate comments, likes, and shares from our viewers. So say what's up. It's always good to hear from you out there, so we know we're not alone. Yes, indeed. And check out all the good stuff coming up at the Kava Bar and just in the general poetry community here in Asheville. We got some cool stuff we're going to be announcing soon, so keep up with us. I'm going to do a few more poems to warm us up, and then we got a couple of guests coming at you, so keep it locked right here. Poetry Open Mic Asheville. I'm gonna do a few short ones. These are original. Inhabitant. She knew about the forest. She wandered grocery store aisles looking for a plum. Wheel turning in wind. I am wild for the lion tamer. There's nothing I can say she doesn't know. Forest Elegy number 2. Last night while you were dreaming, the wildcat saw an owl rise from the bushes in front of me, to the hollow tree, to the quiet of the blue moon night, with its power lines and steeples. Tattoo Room, a found poem. Tattoo room for rent, behind Denny's, on Patton. Tattoo room for rent, or could possibly do commission-based pay. Must have own equipment and be able to get health department inspection. Give us a call. Ask for Dale or Jerry. Thanks. To a random person at the bar. My psychotherapist says I'm paranoid, but I have pictures of the helicopters that were following me. All right. This next poem is Christopher was kind enough to remind us it is the birthday of Edgar Allan Poe, the great poet. It's also the birthday of Owsley Stanley and Jen Pelosi. Big shout out, much love. And man, there's a lot of other it's birthday season, so happy birthday, everyone. So I'm gonna do this poem. It's a righteous blasphemy for Edgar Allan Poe, because this is written in a AI program, and it is inspired by Edgar Allan Poe and Walt Whitman and Emily Dickinson. So it's aptly titled Imwalter Po Dickman. Raven eats a fly buzzing on the grass itself, a dream of life upon its drowsy day. Oh, how it moves with a mystic motion, strangely be its echo and its token. Loud through the stillness with an open voice, that my heart to the bosom would rejoice. Above my leisure is a light for bliss, brought on its margin to the dim abyss. High as the sky in its old sycamores, white as the rainbow, as summer, as snow. It almost sounds like it means something. Alright. A couple more here. Thanks for riding with us tonight. It's so good to be doing open mic with you. And we keep it going. We keep the vibe alive. Whatever gets thrown at us, we're doing our best. So we definitely appreciate the support. All right. Yeah, this is called Dead Letter. Mike, now you're still gone, but I hear your voice on the recording preserved like organs in jars, speaking poems for anyone who still listens to words on old recordings. 23 plays on SoundCloud. I didn't know what to say or whether it would have mattered. Always looking back, it seems easy. Stop, don't go. I love you. I love your voice repeating the words that draw close the wrinkled green throw of memory. We didn't know what to say, but knew we had to say it, and spoke. Howled at open mics, drunk and stoned at poetry readings in libraries, small bookstores and bars where we stood outside long after all the lights went off and everyone else went home, saying something. Advertencia. What killed Garcia Lorca is out there somewhere. Be careful when looking around. I knew not to get into it with the guy who said he should have left Spain, had it coming to him, though my eyes boil. Every time someone looks the other way, while the fascists kill him again. This is not the little corner you are looking for. If someone gives you false directions when you ask, come back a different night. Death enters and leaves the tavern. The ones who flee the fascists are not wrong, but neither are the ones who stand. The men who killed Garcia Lorca got away, left him in an unmarked grave. But more so, what killed Garcia Lorca is out there. In Sacramento, 100 silver nails in the heel of a flamenco clap against floor, thunder calls flame. The red spinning petals unfold, feathers pointed, whirling her black eyes so alone, yet the room watches the lightning. Camareras with trays of cañas look on, darting as in dream about the cave. Forgive me, I am not from here. I stopped in because I heard the music. The room grows silent. September 11th, Elegy. They took your hands. Victor Jara, the Chilean singer, crushed them. Told you to play your guitar in the football stadium full of prisoners. Warmth in the catacombs tonight. 44 tunnels in your body. And this is a brand new one. This is Sound of a Tarp. I dredged the sidelines, ended up in this shoe. I've got some toenails. Paint only Blue Rage Wilderness. Don't you want to sit on the sidelines? They've got cold water, oyster shells on the mountains, wildcat face in the trees. River hidden, but you hear the rushing. Must be close. I'm already downhill, waiting for you. I dreamed this to give to you. I don't know why. It doesn't matter. I am here. Well, indeed. Thank you very much. Hey, appreciate the comments, y'all. Much love. Yes, big shout out. Portland in the house. We love Portland. Thank you. Thank you for existing. Thank you for being here. Thanks for tuning in. We're keeping it going. Y'all, feel free to get on the mic. It's open mic tonight. We're gonna get down to it. Of course, big thanks to our sponsor, Sovereign Kava, keeping this event going for whether virtual or in person for 10, 11 years now here in Asheville. So thank you. Thank you for supporting them, and please continue to do so. We'll keep it rocking here for y'all. Anyway, we've got Christopher T. George waiting in the wings over in Delaware. We're going to fly him in for the show tonight. So, everybody, wherever you are, whether you're at home or in person or standing just outside here, jump up and down, shout, scream, put your hands together, and make a whole bunch of noise for our first performer tonight, Mr. Christopher George. Give it up, y'all. Christopher, greetings.
Hi, Caleb.
Hey, it's good to see you, and I can hear you loud and clear. How are you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm doing well, and I'm glad that we solved that sound problem. I don't know what was going on last week.
Well, yeah, sometimes those things happen, but Morgan's on it over here, so thanks to our technical help.
I appreciate that, Morgan.
Yes, indeed. Well, cool. You tell me you've brought some words by and about Poe tonight to celebrate. And I see you there hanging out with Poe.
A couple of poems by Poe and poems by my own self, and one or two other poets about Poe. He had quite an effect as a poet, as you know, and however, it remains true, I think, that in the 19th century, perhaps his greatest influence was in Europe and not in America. And Baudelaire was a big admirer of Poe, as well as Mallarmé and other writers.
Indeed. Very influential, though more so across the pond. There's other artists like that had more of an impact abroad. You could be arguing.
Yeah, and you know, his biggest splash, his biggest success was with The Raven, that was published in Philadelphia in 1845. And that was barely 4 years before he died. So really, he was most famous in that last 4 or 5 years of his life.
Right. And he definitely lived a bit of a hard life.
Yeah, he did. And, you know, a lot of people say that he was an alcoholic. I'm not sure about that. I think he had some sort of disease, might have been diabetes, or it might have been a brain tumor or something like that,
Oh,
that made
okay.
him drunk very quickly. He only
Ah, I
need
see.
one drink or so to make him drunk, and so I'm not sure that he was strictly an alcoholic.
Yeah, yeah. Perhaps some other possibly even bigger health issues going on there,
Right,
but
and
you know.
there was something interesting that happened. He, when he was found in the dying condition on East Lombard Street in Baltimore, he mentioned the name of a Dr. Snodgrass, who'd been the editor of the Saturday Evening Visitor in Baltimore, published his first short story and poem that got into print in any publication. Um, uh, the Colosseum, I think, was one of them, and I forget the name of the short story. But Snodgrass lived not too far away. But although he was an MD, he didn't take Poe to the hospital. He just packed him into a carriage and sent him to the hospital and never
Hmm.
visited him there either. And he would insist for years afterwards that Poe was raging drunk. And he
Oh.
went on the lecture circuit saying that very thing. He became a teetotaler and
Hmm.
swore off drink and would use Poe as an example of a drunkard. But on
Ah,
the
and
other
held it
hand,
against him apparently.
yeah, on the other
Yeah.
hand, the doctor that treated Poe, Dr. J.J. Moran, would insist that it wasn't alcoholism. And he went on the lecture circuit saying the very opposite thing, that he died of natural causes, that it wasn't alcoholism. So who
Hmm.
knows?
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? Different opinions,
Yeah.
but yes, great. Take it all into account. Fascinating life story there, and I say we sit back and listen to some of what you brought tonight.
Okay.
All right. Everyone, give one more hand for Christopher T. George. Thanks, Christopher.
Okay, everyone. Going to be talking about Edgar. This was his birthday, January 19th, 1809. He lived till October the 7th, 1849, and would die under mysterious circumstances in Baltimore. As I was just discussing with Caleb, we don't know exactly what happened to him. He'd been on the lecture circuit, he'd been lecturing in Richmond and was traveling back up to New York. He lived with his uh, mother in law, Mrs. Clem, who was actually his aunt, and she was the mother of Virginia, who'd been his child bride, as it were. And we don't know what happened to him. For some reason, he stayed in Baltimore, having arrived there on steamship, and he may have tried to take the train north, and for some reason came back to Baltimore. That's one theory. In any case, it's about 4 or 5 days that we really don't know what happened to him. But he was born on Kava Street in Boston to David and Elizabeth or Eliza Poe. They were itinerant actors, then performing at the Boston Theatre. In 1827, he published his first book, Tamerlane and Other Poems, also in Boston, at a shop on the corner of Washington and State Streets, and enlisted in the U.S. Army at Fort Independence in Boston Harbor. He would lecture in Boston October the 16th, 1845. And as I mentioned, that was the same year that he had his big success with the Raven. And he would lecture, he lectured, as I say, in Boston October 16th, 1845, published Landor's Cottage, his last tale to be published in his lifetime, in Boston's Flag of the Union, June 9th, 1849. And he was adopted when his mother would die in 1811 of tuberculosis in Richmond, he was adopted by a wealthy tobacco merchant, Scottish-born John Allen and his wife. And that's where the Allen in Poe's name comes from. That having been said, he would always sign his name Edgar A. Poe rather than Edgar Allan Poe. Now, he went to school at the University of Virginia in Charlotte and got into gambling debts there, and eventually would leave the university after quarreling with John Allen. As we just noted, he published his first book, Tamerlane and Other Poems, in 1827. Only 50 copies were printed. He supported the publication of the book, so it was self-published. And that shows you that there's no shame in a writer publishing their own work. And in 2009, one of the remaining 12 copies of Tamerlane and Other Poems was sold at the Smithsonian for more than $500,000. Poe worked as a literary magazine editor, initially going back to Richmond in 1835 as editor of the Saturday Evening Messenger. He became a household name after The Raven was published only 4 years before he died. And according to Dr. J.J. Moran, his last words after he spent several days of delirium in what would later be Church Home Hospital on Broadway in Baltimore was, "Lord, help my poor soul." This is a short poem of mine. Spring snow at Poe's statue, Wyman Park Drive, Baltimore. Forsythia drowned by snow, spring reduced to rumor, even snow-capped Edgar Poe appreciates the humor. And a longer one. Edgar Allan Poe to his dead wife. Virginia, when a song ruptured your throat and toppled you into the long consumptive decline, to that eternity in which I could not touch you, my life broke apart like a storm-racked ship. I drifted like a ghost ship toward rocks, finished up senseless in a Baltimore gutter, in a drumming October rain, a derelict in a cheap alpaca coat and a battered hat. A lifetime earlier, I'd found shelter in Baltimore, your cousin Eddie, the cashiered West Point cadet, the aspiring poet, scratching at his impecunious art, whom you got to know with a child's eyes, a sister's love. My love for you grew into an impossible flowering. I married you over the protest of relatives. You were only 13, my violet-eyed bride, devoted to me, delicate in looks and demeanor. Your words the more beautiful because of the lisp you never lost. You were my ideal, Virginia, the star that guided me through my darkest, maddest nights, through the convoluted channels of my genius. But what agony as I watched your starlight fade, as you sank lower, choked with consumption. I saw the folly of hope that final winter. I cradled you in my West Point greatcoat, prayed for the miracle I knew could not happen. The light died in me when you died. We laid your coffin on my writing desk like the prow of a lost ship or an offering to some terrible god. 3 years later, ill, haunted, hollow, I sailed back to Baltimore for the last time. My body was laid in a plain wood coffin, lowered into the earth that clutched you, waiting for me. and one of Poe's most famous poems, Annabel Lee. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived, whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child, and she was a child, in this kingdom by the sea. But we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee, with a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that, long ago, in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in the sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know, in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we, and neither the angels in heaven above nor the demons down under the sea can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee, and the stars never rise but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so, all the night tide, I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in her sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea. Written for a friend of mine who passed away just a year or so ago, Sandy Castle, who's a fellow poet in Baltimore. At Church Hospital, Baltimore, for Sandy. When I say I often walk to Church Hospital in my lunch hour, you say, my husband died there. So I go there and stand in the peace where Poe died, the poet's final room of delirium, eviscerated by a massive oak staircase. Outside the pointed arched window, white smoke from the Baltimore harbor, rising in the winter rain, red-berried trees, and below, on a wet tar paper roof, the skeleton of a bird. Another poem by Poe, to Helen. Helen, thy beauty is to me like those Nicean barks of yore that gently o'er a perfumed sea the weary, way-worn wanderer bore to his own native shore. On desperate seas wont to roam, thy hyacinth hair, thy classic face, thy naiad airs that brought me home to the glory that was Greece and the grandeur that was Rome. Lo, in yon brilliant window niche, how statue-like I see thee stand, the agate lamp within thy hand. Ah, Psyche, from the regions which are Holy Land. And I'm going to end with this one, a poem by Bob Bradshaw. Edgar Allan Poe. He would recall Virginia, his child bride, years into their marriage, gazing at him like a gosling, sighting her first moon. When that first small drop of blood quivered on her lower lip, her fingers trembling out another note on the piano Edgar had taught her how to play. Edgar withheld the truth, saying, "It's only a ruptured capillary." He had tutored his wife as well on geometry and astronomy, the two together following the slow movement of stars, as if they too had all the time in the world for Virginia to grow up. For years her health would rebloom for weeks, only to fail once more like short spring. His hands jittery, his grief as raw as any whiskey. He stroked her hair, limp with sweat. He nursed her day and night, and became a candle on a small table, a vigilant, faltering flame, blood spotting Virginia's white bed cover, recalling his mother's early death, while Virginia's fingers grasped his in those last hours. Edgar knew what he had tried to ignore for years. Those he loved would always let go, leaving him behind. Thank you, Caleb.
And thank you. Excellent reading, Mr. George. We
Thank you.
appreciate it. Indeed, I like the way you work in some of those lesser known historical facts to kind of give more context to the poems and whatnot. It's fantastic.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Indeed. Well, good to see you. Hope to see you next time. Thanks for dropping by
You bet.
tonight.
Thank
Indeed.
you, Caleb.
All right. Take care, Christopher.
Yep.
Everyone, give it up one more time for Christopher T. George, all the way from Delaware tonight.
All right.
And thank you for tuning in to Poetry Open Mic Asheville, coming at you live from the Forbidden Back Room here at the Kava Bar. We got some Kava going. We'll get some more Kava going here in a minute. Be sure and stop by Sovereign Kava and support the Kava Bar so we can keep bringing you open mic each and every Wednesday night. We really appreciate it. And also, we appreciate all the wonderful comments. Thank you so much, everyone who commented. Keep them coming. We love to hear from our viewers. Much love to everyone out there. Y'all are very kind. Thank you. Yes, indeed. Killing it. Killing it over here. So, yep. We love the comments. Keep them coming. There's the performer link if anyone else wants to hop on tonight. And that's also, you can find that in the Poetry Open Mic AVL group on Facebook. So check it out. And check out all the good stuff coming up here at the Kava Bar. We got Tomato Calculator on the 28th. And we'll have some other good stuff coming soon. So check us out. ASHEVILLEKava.com, Sovereign Kava. We really appreciate it. All right, I think we got Zen Sutherland in the house tonight. I'm very excited about that. We're gonna go to him next, and then I think we have Low Wolf. And if anyone else wants to get on the mic. So let's see if we can beam in Zen from the laboratory. Always good to see Zen. Let's make a whole bunch of noise from Asheville's own Zen Sutherland. Give it up, y'all. Greetings, Zen.
Hey, Caleb, how's it going?
Hey, that's good, man. How are you doing tonight?
Real well, real well. A couple of days of being stuck in the home have, taken their toll, but it's all good.
Oh, yeah. That's right. For those who don't know, we got a good bit of snow here in Asheville.
Yeah.
Over the past few days. So yes, a lot of people were stuck, and a lot of people live in places where even if the main roads are fine, you're still not getting out.
Right.
Some of
And
these.
if you live in a little valley or whatever, the sun
Yep.
doesn't get rid of that snow, and they can plow all day, and
Mhm.
it's still crazy.
Yep. Oh yeah, still got plenty of snow at my place,
Yeah.
and we're supposed to be getting more from what I hear. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Oh boy. No, actually, I think it's wonderful. I mean, I did get out on my bike, rode
Nice.
around. Yeah, and
I enjoy a little snow. Yeah.
yeah. It's all good, and it's so quiet. I love it.
That is really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
but stuck in here with my beautiful bride and savior Helen, so it was all good.
Yeah.
Had
Doesn't
plenty
sound
of
too
food,
bad.
lots to
Good.
be thankful for, heat, hot water, all that good stuff.
Nice. Yeah. The power stayed on. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Cool. So Zen does all sorts of things, not just poetry. But which thing or things did you bring for us tonight?
I didn't actually bring anything that I can I know about.
Words count.
Yes, I really was just going to listen.
Words are things.
Listen to what was going on and enjoy it, but I thought I'd jump in with some maybe finished, unfinished stuff. I don't know. It's all a trial. Yeah. I love
Try
it.
it out.
I love it.
Yeah.
I loved the death of Lorca stalking me poem. I thought that was us, not just me.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, that I'm a big Lorca fan too, and it just there's something about his mythology besides his poem that just is epic and beautiful and horrible and everything all at once.
Yeah.
Exactly. It makes me wish I could read Spanish, because that's what I'd really love to do, but I'll trust your translations when you do them, and so that's all good.
Well, thank you. I don't take it lightly. I do it for all the people that can't read Spanish. But you really have to go to the original Spanish to get a true sense of the work. But but I also think reading lots of different translations and reading them with the original Spanish, even if you don't really understand it, it's still Latin, but you'll get some of it. It's
absolutely.
But so the more translations, the better, the clearer.
Well, I know 3 Spanish words. Those are solamente tres palabras.
Hey, that's pretty good.
That's just a joke. But I know enough Spanish to but not enough to really feel the blood on the napkin feeling of everything that's going on. I mean, that's why I trust a good translation. So,
indeed.
Yeah. So I'm going to read a couple of poems that may or may not be finished, and then see how they feel.
Got to read them to find out.
I love doing that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's definitely part of my editing process to read aloud to others.
Do you do that? Because I get the sense that your poems are complete, but maybe that's because I'm completing them with my mind, even if you don't feel they're all worked out. I don't know.
Well, I thank you. I take that as a compliment. I mean, a lot of what I do read though are poems that are years old that I have already been through that process of reading them out and stuff. But I guess if the new ones are coming across that way too, then all the better. But
it does. I like your poetry. Yeah.
Well, right back at you, Zen. I'm gonna sit back and listen to your poetry, and we'll see how it feels, man. But I'm looking forward to it, and we'll go ahead and turn it over to you now. Everyone, give a hand for Zen Sutherland.
First of all, thank you for letting me read in front of you, because it's good practice, even if it's not epic. The first poem I'm going to do is called Randonautica. Sorry. Can't even read my own writing. After we die, we think our thoughts are still us. That's our brain. After we die, we think our feelings remain intact. That's our heart. After we die, we think our desire will drive us. That's our belly. But the details we think are us all burnt away. Crispy DNA, Lego melted down in the heat of transformation. The soul is something else altogether, a gleam, a train of angled sparks in the folded soft taco of the universe. We are molded patches, filling cracks in space-time. We're temporary filler for the potholes in the road to nowhere, in particular, that give the cosmos its wabi-sabi character. We return to the weave of creation like puzzle pieces with the colorful stamp of us as the picture on our surface, while our thick edges lock into place to exactly where we belong in the vast rolling chaos of the nth position of pi that is reality. And the next one is called Craft Jesus. Craft Jesus. Oh, Christians, stop dumping glitter on Jesus. You can only glue him with uncooked macaroni to display him on your refrigerator for so long before you've lost the original greatness, the coarse complexity, as much as the fine simplicity. Christ is not your savior. You are your savior, and Christ your convenient banner, your romantic shield to hide behind while marching to the stirring sounds of nationalism or selective love or whatever you call that arrogance that presumes others are lesser than you because they haven't put Craft Jesus on their refrigerators. This one's called Listening to Poetry, Watching Car Wrecks on YouTube. Like someone insane, canyons of crazy, we are the makers of mayhem. Red lights are optional, lines are suggestions. Rhyming is old-fashioned, the source of human wind, gratitude, and a round of applause. Each wreck, a bad decision. Each cliche, I live a little more, singing softly to myself, the rhythm of repeat. This was a poem made by Google Translate, which I tend to write a poem, put it into French, then translate it into German, or just random languages, and then bring it back to English after 5 or 6 iterations. It's called Get Your Custom Poem. 3 planes of the prow beamed with November in his jacket. The faces of the bottles crashed against the tempest witches with broken hip slip into General's pair of shorts. The cycle of violence still in their pockets after the shooter's violence, unjust consequence, fractured image of himself, of a treatment for wounds, where the railroad tracks, if I recall correctly, split the country, died of overworked green voices, cry of dry bones, drones of Pennsylvania, the braces of the racist, great voices larger than horses, bodies found and sent home, while nervous Texans write limericks, more explanation than story, than creations, the before times, medicated bits, the drop of mucal lungfish, at a point in her life. Yeah, someone died thinking about cutlery and a diaper transmitter. Okay. A little more cohesive one. This one's called the Chaos Movement. And I might have read this one before, but I reworked it a little bit. The Chaos Movement. Burn it down. Start all over again, they type from their cushioned rolling chairs in front of computers while their children cry for attention in the next room. The preppers, the hostile liberals, the culture cancelers, the Trumpistas, the anti-Trumpistas, the anti-Trumpistas all see an answer in chaos because anything has to be better than how it is now, right? Even those without ideology want to disrupt government, share rumors, conspiracy theories. Havoc seems entertaining. Don't tell me how to freedom. Tear everything down except the things we personally hold dear. When your phone doesn't work, when you can't get bread or fresh water for your baby's formula, and shit is spewing up into your kitchen sink when you don't know if your mother in Florida is even alive. When your house is burning and no one cares because their house is burning, every human for themselves. Now, that's racial equality. And that's individual democracy at its finest. And when the social platform that help us get there liberated us from the nasty opinions and trolls and Russians doesn't work either, that'll show them in this age, this new age of discontinuity. So don't test your beliefs in puffy Simpson clouds against the clear blue sky of truth. And one more. It's called Schrodinger's Heart. There's a detail stuck in this poem that I'm hiding from you. Not because I want to, not because I like being mysterious, but to reveal it would explode one of our hearts. Schrodinger's heart, we can't know which until I reveal it, thus collapsing that eventuality. I prefer to keep us both alive for this very moment by finishing this poem early. Thank you so much, Caleb. Thank you, Morgan. You guys are great, and I love doing this and keeping the poetry alive.
Thank you, Zen. All right. That was fantastic, man. Thank you so much. I especially like the craft Jesus. That's
Yeah,
really fun.
thanks.
It's good. Indeed. And I do want to point out you have a show coming up on the Asheville Fringe Festival. Though I've heard the in-person performances are postponed till March, which means
Correct.
you have even more time to buy tickets to Zen's show.
And even more time for me to practice and get it right.
Right, even better show.
but do recall that there's still things going on. There was already the video stuff that is still going to be online, and some of the other pieces will be now broadcast instead of in person. But if you bought tickets, or you're worried about buying tickets because things are moving around, be sure that you'll be able to both now see two separate things. Both the online now are upcoming here in the end of January and in March at my show, and
yeah,
a lot of very cool stuff. Toy Box, I don't know if you know him, is playing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's having his show of game show sort of, which ought to be
that's
interesting.
Always fun.
Yeah.
And so more and better. Yeah,
more and better.
Lots of good stuff.
We keep the fringe alive.
That's right. So yeah, check it out. You can still get tickets, AshevilleFrench.org. There will be virtual stuff this month, and then there'll be a whole lot more in March, into March. So check it out. And Zen, thank you so much for dropping by tonight. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you, and I plan on enjoying the rest of the show. And Christopher was great. Lots of historic context there. That was good.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Awesome. Right. Cool. We'll see you, Zen. Everybody give it up one more time for Zen Sutherland.
Peace.
Woo. Peace. And we're live here from the Kava Bar in Asheville. Thanks for riding with us tonight. We've got some spaces left on the list. If anyone else wants to hop on, just follow that StreamYard link right there. And still got this. And anyway, we have a very special performance coming up next from Asheville's own Low Wolf is in the house in the back room with us here at the Kava Bar. So without further ado, we're gonna bring her on, and y'all all make a whole bunch of noise for Low Wolf.
I mean, sure. Which headphones? Ooh, that could be fun.
Do you want to hear yourself?
Yeah, please. Wow.
Probably
Woohoo! Woohoo! I got chopping cauliflower. Drove one-handed to get Opal at the ER. They're texting asking who's gonna cover my shift, so I quit. I got dumped cause I couldn't eat crow. I did my best was a shit show. 6 months passed, she asked can we fuck? That's my luck. I got stoned, too stoned, hearing voices. Fetal position to question all my choices. Not even my dog wants to lay on the bed. Am I dead? Well, the moon gets full, moon gets flat. Things change, they don't change back. You like me now, why not then? I miss my lovers, I miss my friends. Swore I'd never write a song with O's. I swore the last one was the last one about her. Swore I'd never write a song with O's. If you need some X's, I got those. I got teeth, bad teeth, soft and rotten. Went to the dentist, dentist was a con man. I have trouble brushing, I fall on my sword, I get bored. I got sisters, they got kids, husbands, houses. I got half a pack and an eighth of an ounce. I can't look anybody in the eye, cause I lie. I say everything'll be alright, everything'll be okay. It'll get easier a little more every day. I don't mind, you didn't make me come, I'll take crumbs. Well, the moon gets full, moon gets flat. Things change, they don't change back. You like me now, why not then? I miss my lovers, I miss my friends. Swore I'd never write a song with O's. I swore the last one was the last one about her. Swore I'd never write a song with O's. Whoa, whoa, whoa. a lot of red flags. I'm a colorblind bull. Moon gets thin, moon gets thick. Even too much and nothing makes a poor bull sick. Well, the moon gets full, the moon gets flat. Things change, they don't change back. You like me now, why not then? I miss my lovers, I miss my friends. Swore I'd never write a song with those. Swore the last one was the last one about her. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. If you need some exes, I got those. If you need some exes, I got those. If you need some exes, I got those. Cool. I'm gonna play one more. Alabama streets say I cannot hold your hand. Want me to want you to pick and shoot us where we stand. While the sky and water's blue, to die would be an honor at the cost of losing you. To die would be an honor at the cost of losing you. An honest thief only takes your lines, playing second fiddle only scrunches up your spine. Well, I was not good at hide and seek. I tried to hide my love, secrets made me weak. You can try and hide your love, secrets make you weak. Alabama sheets, cotton starched and burning white. My to-do list was getting done last night. Hell, the smell's still on my hands. They tell me if they hear us coming, they could shoot us where we stand. If they hear us coming, they could shoot us where we stand. I'd gladly suffer that again, again, again. I'd gladly suffer that again, again, again. To die in Alabama with your smell still on my hands. What better way is there to die than Alabama holding hands? Cool. Thank you.
indeed. And thanks everyone for tuning in. That was Low Wolf. Thank you so much, Low Wolf. Check her out. She's got lots of music online and stuff like that. Shows coming up. Very good. All right. And thank you everyone for keeping the comments coming. It's good to see y'all out there. Yes, indeed. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank you so much. Yay! Big shout out. Shout out, y'all. And indeed, be sure and support Sovereign Kava and all the good stuff they do. Check it out. We're rocking over here, 268 Biltmore Avenue in Asheville, North Carolina. We are open till midnight tonight. So come by, grab some Kava, check it out, tip the barkeep, all that good stuff. Many thanks to our technical director tonight, Morgan Beissert, keeping the gears turning over here. And we're gonna keep it rolling. It's I believe it's last call for performers. So go ahead and follow that StreamYard link now if you're going tonight. Otherwise, I'm gonna close things out with some poetry. Yes, indeed. Emilio, very disappointed in you for not joining us tonight. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, we want to send our thoughts out to Emilio, who's had a bad fall and is waiting on some medical treatment right now. So all the best to you, Emilio, and we hope you can join us again soon. Much love, brother. Y'all keep rocking with us here each and every Wednesday night for Poetry Open Mic Asheville. Brought to you by Sovereign Kava. And as always, I'm your host, Caleb Beissert. It's a pleasure to be your host each and every Wednesday night. Keep riding with us. Some love for Amelia there. Thank you very much. All right, indeed. Let's see what we got in the old poetry notebook. Keep rocking here. Good. Alright. Shout out to Gaia also. You can come over here. She's good now. Alright. Much love, everyone. Check out the Lactones at Sovereign Kava. That's our theme music tonight. And music by Max Milner. Big shout out. He just had a birthday. Much love. Check us out February 4th. We'll be here making some music for y'all. Alright, let's see what we got. A couple originals and a few covers to close us out tonight. Thanks so much everyone for tuning in and supporting Poetry Open Mic Asheville. This one's called Arrangement. My death is searching for me in the hills. My death is searching for me in Santa Maria. My death is searching for me in Puerto Rico. My death watches from the towers. My death watches the ocean shores. My death watches the silent cameras. My death plays a white guitar. My death plays a tiny accordion. My death plays a violent violin. My death waits on the rocks of the shore. My death waits on the roads of water. My death waits in gasoline rains. My death comes with a pale blanket. My death comes with flowers and rope. My death comes to whisper the secret. Your horses galloped in the living pasture. Mine were Mr. Ed and the color-changing horse from the Emerald Palace. And I only knew their smell from riding past fairgrounds. You saw the turkey vultures eating the rabbit carcass. I saw the cat decaying in the storm drain from my school bus window. The same wind blows on its way from the distant farm. It doesn't help to worry. You must think. You got this. When you think, I want a drink of water, your hand picks up the glass. You're riding on an infinite wave. Put your finger in the water. See how it creates more tiny waves. You can see the reflection of stars, but if you try to touch them, they disappear. We can be the waves guiding each other. We can be the storm we turn away from. Turn toward the sunny beach at the edge of time. Turn toward the orchards where we rested in summer. Turn your thoughts to what heals you, even in the darkness when no light shines. Nope. All right. The Alhambra. Oh, hey, Gaia. The Alhambra. Archway upon archway. Fountain reflected sunlight folds into muqarnas and arabesques. The Moors built these palaces and gardens as a replica of heaven, where the sound of water so scarce in their world can be heard in every corner and corridor. A constant zikr. A single feather lies on the stone floor. The dog points her ears at the moon. A full moon in Leo rising through trees and snow clouds. Dark blue evening. Sky full of action, weeping blankets on the highways in the little town of houses with yellow windows. I pass the time as best I can, from one horizon to the other. We sit together in silence, saying everything we needed. But now the silence does all the talking. It is the sound of knowing we are safe. For this one moment. It is the sound of our presence being enough. It is the sound of the wind and the empty bus going by. It is the sound that the dog hears when nothing else stirs. Good dog, guy. And I'm doing a few cover poems to close this out. Okay. We can do that. I'm gonna try a little, where'd it go? I had everything right here. I'm gonna try a little, Robert Lowell. This is Skunk Hour. Nautilus Island's hermit heiress still lives through winter in her Spartan cottage. Her sheep still graze above the sea. Her son's a bishop. Her farmer's first selectman in our village. She's in her dotage. Thirsting for the hierarchic privacy of Queen Victoria's century, She buys up all the eyesores facing her shore and lets them fall. The season's ill. We've lost our summer millionaire, who seemed to leap from an L.L. Bean catalog. His 9-knot yawl was auctioned off to lobstermen. A red fox stain covers Blue Hill. And now our fairy decorator brightens his shop for fall. His fishnets filled with orange cork, orange, his cobbler's bench and all. There's no money in his work, he'd rather marry. One dark night, my tutor Ford climbed the hill's skull. I watched for love cars, lights turned down. They lay together, hall to hall, where the graveyard shelves on the town. My mind's not right. A car radio bleats, love, oh careless love. I hear my ill spirit sob in each blood cell, as if my hand were at its throat. I myself am hell, nobody's here. Only skunks that search in the moonlight for a bite to eat. They march on their souls up Main Street. White stripes, moonstruck eyes, red fire under the chalk dry and spire of the Trinitarian Church. I stand on top of our back steps and breathe the rich air. A mother skunk with her column of kittens swills the garbage pail. She jabs her wedge head in a cup of sour cream, drops her ostrich tail, and will not scare. All right. Well, on the subject of Poe, I'm going to see if I can pull off an old poem by Edgar A. Poe. This is The Bells. Hear the sledges with the bells, silver bells. What a world of merriment their melody foretells, how they tinkle, tinkle, tinkle in the icy air of night, while the stars that oversprinkle all the heavens seem to twinkle with a crystalline delight, keeping time, in a sort of runic rhyme, to the tintinnabulation that so musically wells from the bells, 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 from the jingling and the tinkling of the bells. Hear the mellow wedding bells, golden bells. What a world of happiness their harmony foretells. Through the balmy air of night, how they ring out of their delight from the molten golden notes, and all in tune, what a liquid ditty floats to the turtle dove that laughs while she gloats on the moon. Oh, from out the sounding cells, what a gush of euphony voluminously wells, how it swells, how it dwells on the future, how it tells of the rapture that impels to the singing and the ringing of the bells, bells, bells of the bells, 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 to the rhyming and the chiming of the bells. Hear the loud alarm bells, brazen bells. What a tale of terror now their turbulency tells. In the startled ear of night, how they scream out of their affright. Too much horrified to speak, they can only shriek, shriek out of tune. In a clamorous appealing to the mercy of the fire, in a mad expostulation with the deaf and frantic fire, leaping higher, higher, higher with a desperate desire and resolute endeavor now, to sit or never by the side of the pale-faced moon. Oh, the bells, 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 what a tale their terror tells of despair, how they clang and clash and roar, what a horror they outpour on the bosom of the palpitating air. Yet the ear it fully knows by the twanging and the clanging how the danger ebbs and flows. Yet the ear distinctly tells in the jangling and the wrangling how the danger sinks and swells by the sinking or the swelling and the anger of the bells. bells, of the bells, of the bells, 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 in the clamor and the clangor of the bells. Hear the tolling of the bells, iron bells. What a world of solemn thought their monotony compels. In the silence of the night, how we shiver with affright in the melancholy meaning of the tone. For every sound that floats from the rust within their throats is a groan. And the people, the people, they that dwell up in the steeple, all alone, and who tolling, tolling, tolling in that muffled monotone, feel a glory in so rolling on the human heart a stone. They are neither man nor woman, they are neither brute nor human, they are ghouls, and their king it is who tolls. Who tolls, and he rolls, 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 rolls a paean from the bells, and his merry bosom swells with a paean of the bells, and he dances and he yells, keeping time, 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 in a sort of runic rhyme to the paean of the bells, keeping time, 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 in a sort of runic rhyme to the throbbing of the bells, 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 to the sobbing of the bells, keeping time, 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 as he knells, knells, knells in a happy runic rhyme to the rolling of the bells, 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 to the tolling of the bells, 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 to the moaning and the groaning of the bells. And from there, we're gonna go to a little Allen Ginsberg. Good dog guy. And then I don't know where we'll end up, but this is from Wichita Vortex Sutra. All right. I'm an old man now, and a lonesome man in Kansas, but not afraid to speak my lonesomeness in a car, because not only my lonesomeness, it's ours, all over America. Oh, tender fellows. And spoken lonesomeness is prophecy in the moon 100 years ago, or in the middle of Kansas now. It's not the vast plains mute our mouths that fill at midnight with ecstatic language when our trembling bodies hold each other breast to breast on a mattress. Not the empty sky that hides the feeling from our faces, nor our skirts and trousers that conceal the body love emanating in a glow of beloved skin, white smooth abdomen down to the hair between our legs. It's not a God that bore us that forbid our being like a sunny rose all red with naked joy. Between our eyes and bellies, yes, all we do is for this frightened thing we call love, want, and lack. Fear that we aren't the ones whose bodies could be beloved of all the brides of Kansas City, kissed all over by every boy of Wichita. Oh, but how many in their solitude weep aloud like me on the bridge over Republican River, almost in tears to know how to speak the right language. On the frosty broad road uphill between highway embankments, I search for the language that is also yours. Almost all our language has been taxed by war. Radio antennae, high-tension wires ranging from Junction City across the plains. Highway cloverleaf sunk in a vast meadow, lanes curving past Abilene to Denver, filled with old heroes of love. To Wichita, where McClure's mind burst into animal beauty, drunk, getting laid in a car in a neon-misted street 15 years ago. To Independence, where the old man's still alive, who loosed the bomb that slaved all human consciousness and made the body universe a place of fear. Now, speeding along the empty plain, no giant demon machine visible on the horizon, but tiny human trees and wooden houses at sky's edge. I claim my birthright, reborn forever as long as man in Kansas or other universe. Joy, reborn after the vast sadness of the war gods. A lone man, talking to myself. No house in the brown vastness to hear. Imagining the throng of selves that make this nation one body of prophecy languaged by declaration as pursuit of happiness. I call all powers of imagination to my side in this auto to make prophecy, all lords of human kingdoms to come. Shambhu Bharti Baba naked covered with ash, Kaki Baba fat-bellied mad with the dogs, Deho Rava Baba who moans, oh how wounded, how wounded. Sitaraman Kardas Thakur who commands, give up your desire. Satyananda who raises two thumbs in tranquility. Kalipada Guha Roy whose yoga drops before the void. Shivayananda who touches the breast and says, Om. Shri Mata Krishnaji of Brindaban who says, take for your guru. William Blake, the invisible father of English vision, Sri Ramakrishna, master of ecstasy, eyes half closed, who only cries for his mother. Chaitanya, arms upraised, singing and dancing his own praise. Merciful Shango, judging our bodies. Durgama, covered with blood. Destroyer of battlefield illusions. Million-faced Tathagata, gone past suffering. Preserver, Hare Krishna, returning in the age of pain. Sacred Heart, my Christ, acceptable. Allah, the compassionate one. Yahweh, righteous one. All knowledge, princess of earth, man, old ancient seraphim of heavenly desire. Devas, yogis, and holy men, I chant too. Come to my lone presence into this vortex named Kansas. These are by Jane Hirschfield. A chair in snow. A chair in snow should be like any other object, wided and rounded. And yet a chair in snow is always sad. More than a bed, more than a hat or house. A chair is shaped for just one thing, to hold a soul, its quick and few bendable hours. Perhaps a king, not to hold snow, not to hold flowers. For what binds us. There are names for what binds us. Strong forces, weak forces. Look around, you can see them. The skin that forms in a half-empty cup. Nails rusting into the places they join. Joints dovetailed on their own weight. The way things stay so solidly wherever they have been set down. And gravity, scientists say, is weak. And see how the flesh grows back across a wound with great vehemence, more strong than the simple, untested surface before. There's a name for it on horses when it comes back darker and raised. Proud flesh. As all flesh is proud of its wounds, wears them as honors given out after battle, small triumphs penned to the chest. And when two people have loved each other, see how it is like a scar between their bodies, stronger, darker, and proud. How the black cord makes of them a single fabric that nothing can tear or mend. One night a man was crying in the street. Allah, Allah, Allah. His lips grew sweet with the praising, until a cynic said, I've heard you calling out, but have you ever gotten any response? The man had no answer to this. He quit praising and fell into a confused sleep. In his dream, he saw Hitter, the guide of souls, in a thick green foliage. Why did you stop praising? Because I never heard anything back. This longing you express is the return message. The grief that you cry out from draws you toward union. Your pure sadness that wants help. It's the secret cup. Listen to the moan of a dog for its master. That whining is the connection. Listen to the moan of a dog for its master. That whining is the connection. There are love dogs no one knows the names of. Give your life to be one of them. There are love dogs no one knows the names of. Give your life to be one of them. There are love dogs. There are love dogs. There are love dogs. What are your dogs' names? Leave your dogs' names in the comments. Bonnie, Rhett, Gaia, Lola, Spot. We got any spots? Fido, Maddie, Bailey, Maddie, Bailey, Bonnie, Gaia, Tusk, Tusk. Oh, and Tusk is listening. Hey, there are love dogs no one knows the names of. And sometimes we get to know the names. Give your life to be one of them. Give your life to be one of them. Thanks for coming to Open Mic tonight. It's been an honor and a pleasure as always. My name is Caleb Beissert, your host. Our technical director tonight is Morgan Beissert. Our sponsor is Sovereign Kava. Many thanks to all our performers, all our viewers. And thanks to Sin and Gaia, and Flo and Morgan and everyone else. But anyway. Hey, y'all stay safe out there. Take care. We'll see you next time. Much love. We're dealing.